morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Los Angeles City Council meeting for Friday, the 12th of March, 2010, here in John Farrell Council Chambers, room 340 of City Hall. We meet here every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. We welcome those who are here in council chambers from the public, as well as those who are in Van Nuys and San Pedro, and our remote locations, as well as our viewers on Channel 35 or through the internet at our city's homepage at lacity.org. And a fifth way you can watch us is, or listen to us through your telephone at 213-621-CITY. We do have agendas available for the public and cards in the back or in our remote locations if you'd like to be heard on any items. But since we have a quorum, why don't we go ahead and call the roll.
Alarcon, Cardenas, Hahn, Weezer, Koretz, Krikorian, Labange, Parks, Perry, Reyes, Rosendahl, Smith, Wesson, Zine, Garcetti. 10 members present and a quorum, Mr. President.
Thank you. First order of business.
Approval of the minutes.
All right, Mr. Cardenas moves and Mr. Weezer seconds. Without objection, those minutes are approved. Next order of business.
Commendatory resolutions for approval.
Mr. Alarcon moves and Mr. Zine seconds. Without objection, those will be approved too. If we can run through the agenda, please.
Item 1 is a veto message from the mayor. 10 votes required to override.
All right. Let's hold that on the table. Let's go to number 2, please.
Item 2 is an application for public convenience or necessity in Council District 2. The recommendation is to grant the application.
Okay. And that's in which district, I'm sorry?
Council District 2.
Okay. Mr. Krikorian, did you want to move that has to be moved. It's a public convenience or necessity for on-site. Did you want to move the recommendation? Okay. Mr. Krikorian moves that. Let's go ahead and open the roll, close the roll, and tabulate the vote.
11 ayes.
That is approved. Next items, please.
Items 3 through 24 are items for which public hearings have been held. There is a request to continue items 16 and 17 1 week to March 19th.
Okay, without objection, we'll continue 16 and 17 1 week till the 19th. We do expect 12 members. We're still awaiting Mr. Koretz. As soon as he joins us, we'll be able to take up the ordinances. Mr. Koretz, if you'll please join us. So let's hold the ordinances 3 through 5. Any specials, colleagues? If no, Mr. Parks?
Yes, special on number 8, and also ask that the Budget and Finance report be moved on number 24.
All right, 8 will be special, and Budget and Finance report on 24. Without objection, seeing no other specials, let's go ahead and open the roll on the ballots.
We have some
Close the roll.
We have some cards.
Oh, I'm sorry. These are for ones that public hearings have already been held.
They've been held.
So close the roll and tabulate the vote.
11 ayes.
Okay. Next items, please.
Items 25 through 26 or through 36 are items for which public hearings have not been held. 10 votes are required for consideration. There is a request to continue.
Sorry.
There is a request to continue item 33 to Tuesday, March 16th.
We got cards on.
Let's go ahead and make sure that Mr. Koretz is recorded on the earlier votes, and if we can, thank you, take up 3 to 5 at this time as well on the ordinances.
3 through 5.
Please open the roll on 3, 4, and 5. Close the roll and tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
And Mr. Koretz was here for those and the previous items. We'll make sure the record reflects that. Sorry, next items, please.
Items 25 through 36, and those are items for which public hearings have not been held.
All right, and which cards do we have?
We have cards on items 25, 29, 31, 32, and 35.
Okay. Let's go ahead. 33, I believe there's a request to continue that to the 16th without
Yes.
objection. Mr. Zine? 18 forthwith. We have 18 forthwith. Thank you. Let's go ahead on the balance then. Please open the roll, close the roll, and tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
Thank you. If we can send 36 forthwith, also without objection. The closed session items, we're going to continue to the 17th. Sorry, Mr. Parks?
Closed session to Wednesday when we have closed session again.
Let's do that. Okay, next Wednesday, the 17th, without objection.
Yeah.
Mr. Labange?
Forthwith on item 4.
Item 4 forthwith as well. Thank you.
Mr. President?
Yes, Mr.
On
Parks.
item 1, we've cured that item on that we could receive and file because
Okay.
it was a clerical error that didn't go through the claims board. It's
Okay.
now gone through the claims board. It will be waived at Budget and Finance and here, I believe, next week.
Okay, so we'll receive and file that?
Yes.
Without objection on item number 1. Okay, if we can call the roll for the special meeting.
Alarcon, Cardenas, Hahn, Weezer, Koretz, Krikorian, Labange, Parks, Perry, Reyes, Rosendahl, Smith, Wesson, Zine, Garcetti. 13 members present and a quorum, Mr. President.
All right. First order of business?
Item 40 is an item for which public hearing has not been held. 10 votes are required for consideration.
No objection to consideration. That's before us. Anybody wishing to call that special? Do we have a card from the public on that?
I don't believe we do.
Okay. Okay, go ahead. Do you have the substitute before us, or you need a little time? Okay, all right, we'll call it special. All right. Well, actually, since it's a special meeting and we're in it now, can we read it? We can't go back. We can't continue the special meeting into the regular meeting per the city attorney's advice. So we're stuck in the special meeting till we finish it. So how long do you think you need for that? You can read it into the record if you have it here, or... All right, we'll take a pause while we await that language. Just hold tight, folks. Do you want to speak on the item, Mr. Alarcon?
I don't want to say much today.
Okay, Mr. Alarcon, why don't you go ahead and read that into the record? Thank you.
Members, item 40 relates to the foreclosure assistance program that we developed with the 1LA organization and through the CRA. I had allocated $1 million out of the CRA to help reduce principal for people that were finding themselves in the foreclosure process. We have come to the point where we have agreement from two major banks and the 1LA organization, and know that this money will go directly into these principal reduction loans, which are very similar to the direction that the Obama administration just announced recently when they allocated about $1.5 billion toward foreclosure assistance, including principal reduction programs. We believe this can be a model for the nation. We've been in communication with the federal government, the Secretary of Housing, as well as Treasury to talk about this program. And by virtue of us implementing this program, we believe there will be an opportunity for Los Angeles to be the vanguard in providing a real modification that would include principal reduction for the first time in the we ran into some glitches relative to the money process. So the motion that I now have to be distributed is a substitute motion for the motion I introduced Wednesday. And what it does, it's essentially the same pot of money from the CRA. It's just shifted in different accounts, and we had some negotiations with the city attorney, the CRA, and the housing department to ensure that this is being done in a way that's proper. So this motion, the substitute motion, addresses that, but essentially it's the same program that provides $1 million that will get us about 15 loans to be a demonstration project that we believe will be a precursor to an application to the federal government for literally tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions of dollars in foreclosure assistance. So I would appreciate your support.
Thank you. And we do have one public speaker card. Mr. Sachs, if you'd like to come forward on item 40.
Sure.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for that information, Councilman Alarcon. 15 loans. How will those loans be, the people receiving these loans, how will that be accomplished? Will it be done through a lottery like they did for the Michael Jackson funeral? Will it be done by need? Will it be done by first come, first serve? How is that money going to be allocated? It's only 15 loans. And I'm not happy to say it, but you've mentioned a few times in talking here that you have one of the worst areas of foreclosure in your district. And I'm not saying that that's a matter of economics. So how are you going to spread that 15 loans throughout your district in a equitable manner? And number two, it's a special meeting. This is the second time in less than 2 months we've had to hold up proceedings because you don't have the proper work done for your special meetings. Special meetings can't move forward. They had to wait for somebody to show up who's stuck in traffic, Mr. City Attorney. Special meetings can't proceed until the actions are accomplished. You're in a budget deficit. You're wasting time and money. If you're going to have a special meeting, have your homework done before you come to school. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sachs. And with that, we have the substitute motion that's been read into the record. Okay, let's.
Get it in writing to you, but
Okay, that's the same. Okay, let's go ahead then and open the roll, close the roll, and tabulate the vote.
13 ayes.
Thank you. We can go back to the regular meeting right now. And we do have some items that were called special for cards from the public. Item 25, Mr. Sachs, if you'd like to come back forward.
Do you wish to adjourn the special meeting?
Yes, I'm sorry. Let's adjourn that before we return to the regular meeting. Mr. Sachs, on item 25, would you like to speak on it? I'm sorry, I know we just have cards from the public. It's the item 25, which is on the amend various sections of the municipal code for joint living and work quarters.
You're doing the regular agenda, Mr.?
Yeah, we're back to the regular meeting, item 25.
But you're doing public comment.
We're going to item 25 first.
Okay, item 25. You're amending the city code. You're acting on the city code. And I'm just curious because taking this action means you're referring to the city code. Unlike your voting action with a change in the policy for the code of city council. You have a code, I believe as an example, you have a code for the city council and some of its actions. And one of those requirements is that you be in your seats. But you never acted on that code to change the rules. So I'm wondering how you pick and choose between the codes that you adhere to and the codes that you break. Because here's a code that you want to act on. But you don't want to act on the city council rules unless you're chastising the public. Then you'll act. But
Thank you, sir.
I'm just using an example, sir. Thank you.
Okay. And I think an administrative code, just as a legal matter, is a different, is a legal term. And we're talking about joint live-work spaces today on this item. But thank you for your comments. Okay. Let's go ahead and prepare the roll on that item and tabulate the vote.
13 ayes.
That is approved. Next item called special is Mr. Sachs on item 29, if you'd like to come forward, which is on the street vacation. It's a street vacation at Marathon and Alvarado for the elementary school number
29.
14.
Item 29, yes, I'm just curious to know that there is nothing vetted by the Public Works Department, Public Land Use, Planning and Land Use. There's no vetting allowed, no unheard, unseen, untalked about permitting that will be coming down the highway 5 years or 10 years later, as occurred with the LA Live fiasco. Just want to make sure that the public is covered, because you'll be out of office and somebody new will be sitting in here and somebody might say, oh, I thought we vetted that, or I thought it was vetted. No vetting on this. This is a planning and land use. There's no involvement with any other departments, because that's what occurred with LA Live. Nothing else, just strict above the board planning and land use management.
Thank you, sir. Since this is my district, there's been no fewer than 20 public meetings on this street vacation. There's been heavy public involvement in it, but thank you for your interest on that. Go ahead and please prepare the roll and tabulate the vote.
13 ayes.
That is approved. Next item, please. 31?
Item 8 was called special for Councilmember
Okay.
Parks.
Mr. Parks, did you want to do 8 real quick?
Yes, I just wanted to bring to the attention of the council, and I was hoping Miguel would be here, but our CAO has received a prestigious award, and it's the dealing with the National Government Finance Officers for the preparation of our budget. And it's the 13th consecutive year that they have received this award, and I just want to make sure that that they know how much we appreciate the effort they put into the budget, and just wanted to make sure that all my colleagues are aware that this is something that is in their field of operation, their Oscar for the year. So just wanted to make sure everybody's aware of it.
Thank you. Congratulations to our CAO. It's an extraordinary accomplishment all of those years. And we thank them for their dedication, and we congratulate them on this national recognition. With that, let's go ahead and prepare the roll and tabulate the vote.
13
That is
ayes.
approved. Next item called special.
Item 31 called special for cards.
Mr. Sachs, Proposition F, fire facilities. 31, okay. It passes. Let's prepare the roll and tabulate the vote.
13 ayes.
That is approved. Item 32, please. That was called special for card. Dr. Clyde Williams, if you'd like to he passes as well. Let's go ahead and prepare the roll and tabulate the vote.
13 ayes.
That is approved. And item 35 is called special for card. Mr. Sachs, if you'd like to come forward on that for the transit bus radio automatic vehicle location system. Okay. He passes. Let's prepare the roll and tabulate the vote.
13 ayes.
Okay, that is approved. Dr. Clyde Williams, if you'd like to come forward for general public comment, and then Walter Bechtel will follow after Dr. Williams. Your second, sir. There's Dr. Williams and then you, sir, afterwards. Go ahead. It's Dr. Williams and then Walter Bechtel was second, I was saying.
Okay. Dr. Clyde Williams, 4115 Barrett Road, El Sereno, the great place of El Sereno, northeast LA for those that don't know where it's at. Okay, Daily News had an article about DWP, rate increases again. However, have they told you everything that's going to be rate increases during the next year? I doubt it, because, they don't have a strategic plan in place, although they've been working on it for over a year. So how do they know where they're going? How did P&A Consulting even figure out what they wanted to do? Because there's no strategic plan for DWP. Even the library system has a strategic plan. So, transparency. Without a strategic plan, you really don't have any transparency, because you don't know where everything's going. That is, the son of B, son of Measure B. The solar plan, what is it? Where is it? Why don't we see how it will work with the wind plan? Oh, and by the way, there is a coal plan, and the coal plan is the real 900-pound gorilla in DWP's planning, because that will cost a lot more than all of the solar plan, all of the other plans put together. So we don't know where it's going. Today there was also a comment regarding solar. Well, if you look at the details of doing a solar plan under the DWP, it's just too expensive. Works out to about $7 million per megawatt installed. So have DWP, before they ECAF us, before they do any more rate increases, finish their strategic plan so we know where they're going and what we're going to have to pay, not just this year, but for the next 5 years. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Williams. Walter Bechtel is our second speaker in general public comment. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. I wanted to say something about the relocation of the Ford Hotel. I left a message in Mr. Huzar and Mr. Reyes' office concerning the plum meeting on Tuesday. We've had some problems. We've been told despondently different things about returning. Most of us were under the impression that the Ford Hotel, including most of you council members, was going to be fixed. It's fine. But now we're being told that we're never going to be allowed to come back, that we're being kicked out permanently, and that we're going to be replaced by people who have been laid off from the city here. I don't understand. I thought the intention was to fix the hotel and that most of the people were going to be allowed to come back there. Also, if we come back, if somehow we're going to be allowed to come back, some of us who qualify, that our rents are going to be at least double of what they are when we were paying there. Most of us are told that our rents, that our abilities to pay rent are less than $300 a month. I would hope that despite what SRO says about RSO not applying to them, that you would go ahead and enjoin RSO laws and regulations due to the fact that since they are a charitable organization and they are a non-profit organization, that kind of thing would have been enjoinable to anyway. It's certainly not fair, and it's not in keeping with the feeling and the understanding that you were helping people down there. Instead, what you're doing is kicking us all out, and after 3.5 years are over, we're going to be having to live on the street because we can't afford the rents other than what we were paying there.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bechtel. Are there any other members of the public who wish to be heard for public comment? I assume maybe Mr. Sachs. I didn't have a card, so why don't you come forward?
Thank you. And thank you, Mr. President, for clarifying that you had 20 public hearings held on the street vacation. I believe Honest Jan Perry reported 15 hearings on the LA Live complex, yet none included building and safety, and permits were vetted. That's my problem. Now, I'd like to take a moment to reply to the council's de facto editor. Boo-hoo! Imagine blaming this council for the budget deficit. You didn't do it. This is so wrong. Why? Because you implied by blaming the council for the deficit that you've actually done an action. And we've sat around here for a few years and noticed that that's not really the case. 24 months facing a $700 million deficit, and what have you accomplished? Let's list the inroads you've made to eliminating or attacking this deficit. Well, what are they? Well, we have a $2 million savings here because the mayor has consolidated the department, and we have a $2 million savings someplace else because we're going to cut back on certain things. But, as I mentioned once before, there's 200 good ideas at $2 million each to come up with $400 million. Now you need 350 good ideas to come up with $700 million. I can hear the clocks ticking, the brains just burning out behind this endeavor. You didn't cause the budget deficit. How correct you are. But you haven't done a damn thing in reality to attack the budget deficit. You've spent money, and you've spent money, but we have a lack of revenue. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sachs. Appreciate everybody's public comments today. That closes our general public comment. Next order of business.
Council has motions for posting and referral.
Those are posted and referred.
The desk is clear.
I think Mr. Wesson has an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. President and members. As you all know, we have pet adoption, we have Feline Friday, and we have Pet Adoption Friday, where we bring in the dogs. Today, this is a beautiful 2-year-old Chihuahua mix, and the reason why we didn't do Pet Adoption Friday today is because I adopted her. So she is the newest member of the Wesson family.
And
It's no,
do you want to say,
the
honey, if
legal
you're watching
limit
at
is
home?
3, and this makes me at the legal limit. So,
Did you want to say something, Fabian, on air right now in case she's listening at home?
and to my wife, who I have not telephoned, this is an early anniversary gift.
Oh, that's it. That is a very, very sweet gift. We thank you for your advocacy and the Adoption Fridays you do, and it was only a matter of time before one of them was going home with Mr. Wesson. So congratulations, Mr. Wesson, and thank you so much, and congratulations to Twinkie. With that, are there any adjourning motions, colleagues? Mr. Bond, do you have an adjourning motion? Okay. If I can ask everybody to please rise in council chambers for our adjourning motions. Mr. Labange.
Members, I'd like to ask we adjourn in memory of Merlin Olsen, one of the greatest of all athletes to ever play in Los Angeles. For 14 years, he played for the Los Angeles Rams all his career. 12 of those 14 years, he was named to the Pro Bowl. He was a dynamic individual who was part of the Fearsome Foursome, which was one of the first times a defensive unit had a nickname. Later on, they had the Purple People Eaters from the Vikings and the Bees out of Miami, but it was the Fearsome Foursome of Roosevelt Greer, Merlin Olsen, Lamar Lundy, and the great Deacon Jones. He was a pleasant man who came from Utah, big family, lived in San Marino when he played for the Rams. He also was an actor for many years, House of the Prairie and Father Murphy. I had a chance to represent the Coliseum Commission with Mr. Parks on the 7th anniversary of the Rams reunion, and he truly was a spirited guy, loved by all the players that he played with, was the most intelligent defensive lineman, said by Steve Sable of NFL Films, was one of the 3 best of all times, including Bob Lilly and Mean Joe Green, and that of Merlin Olsen. I ask we all adjourn in memory of a great man, Merlin Olsen.
Thank you very much. Mr. Smith.
Thank you, Mr. President. And I just learned that yesterday afternoon or morning, Ann Finn passed away, the wife of former Councilmember Howard Finn. I don't know any details, but I know Ann. I've known Ann for a very long time. I knew her husband, Howard. I was in the chamber when he passed away that day here in this council. Ann and Howard were a really unique team. They were very much a team. And Howard relied on Ann for everything. She was a real partner with him, advised him politically. She was a very smart lady, and anyone who met with her, and I know Mr. Rosendahl knew her, she was a charming lady, very intelligent, very, very politically savvy, and a real joy to be around. And I'm sorry to see her go. She's was getting up in age, and I hope she passed peacefully. But she was a real gem in this chamber, and got to work with her a lot because she was here with her husband all the time, and she was advising him. She was really his chief of staff, and a real charming lady, and a loss to us. So I think all council members would
We'll
be.
put all members. Mr. Rosendahl, do you want to add something to that?
I just wanted to make a quick comment. I knew her and Howard as a dynamic duo. They were always together, and it was a wonderful relationship to watch and to see what that relationship did for all of us. Frankly, it gave us the democracy at its best. She would come here up until about a year ago to various events and various situations. I always gave her a big hug, and we laughed a little bit about life. She was 94 years old, so she's had a good, full life, but may she rest in peace, and now she's with Howard.
Thank you, Mr. Labange, and then Mr. Zahn.
Yeah, just to Dan, was what everyone said, and there's nothing like that love that you see between Howard and Ann. And then the after, when Howard left us, how Ann did get still involved. And even in defeat of any political action that she took, she came back and is always involved and positive. And a positive, the first thing when you saw her, you got struck with positive kiss and a hug. God bless Ann Finn.
Thank you, Mr. Zahn.
I served on the elected Charter Reform Commission with Ann Finn. She was elected to the Charter Reform Commission, helped write the new charter, along with Janice Hahn and other 13 people, 15 members of that elected Charter Commission. A wonderful lady who represented that northeastern part of the San Fernando Valley. I know she ran for council. She was very committed to democracy and to the people of Los Angeles. I had no idea she was in 94. She was very active. She was still recently active in the community. She had good health, obviously, all the way until the end of 94 years of age, but just a wonderful lady with a great heart and a big smile. She'll be missed. May she rest in peace, Ann Finn.
It's a very sad day for LA. We'll put all members on that. A very extraordinary woman. If there's no other adjourning motions, Madam Clerk, if you'll please call the roll. We'll next be in session on Tuesday, this coming week at 10 a.m. here in John Ferraro Council Chambers. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you then.